Among the top three universities of the Philippines, Ateneo de Manila boasts of its long line of achievements in the name of excellence and service in the educational aspect, as it houses one of the world's most exciting communities of leaders and scholars. It continues to be a top provider of quality education and an irreplaceable source of unique and globally competitive talent. In light of that, Ateneo endeavors to maintain its prestige by taking steps towards desired progress, one way being the alignment of the academic calendar with the other ASEAN countries. Ateneo President Jose Ramon T. Villarin, S.J., stated, Ateneo needs to ensure that our graduates develop a global outlook and global competencies so that they can navigate a more complex, interconnected world and contribute towards resolving global concerns. Under the new academic calendar, the first semester will begin in August and end in December, while the second semester will be from January to May. Summer would then fall on June until July, but the shift is not applicable to grade school and high school. Considering the positions of all stakeholders, is the shift in academic calendar a good thing for the Ateneo? The typical summer of an average Atenean consists of
It's a perfect time to bond with my blockmates in beaches, in resorts, or in other places.
During this every summer, my family and I travel either abroad or in the Philippines.
Naglalaks ako sa pool. Tapos, every Friday siguro, social drinking with some of my closest friends.
Food trip.
I spend a lot of time with my friends and family. Read a book.
Is the Ateneo compromising the everyday plans of students for a worthy cause and a dependable and effective system?
In the 1960s, they tried it for 1 year. Apparently, it failed and they didn't do it. What bothers me is no one is looking back in that part of history why it didn't work. I don't know why it didn't work, but no one is looking at it why it did not work. No one is mentioning why it didn't work. And with that, we don't know what makes it different this time that it will work as opposed to the 1960s. Okay.
In the early 1960s, the Department of Education implemented a gradual shift in the opening of classes, but it was retracted a year later following the uproar from the private sector and parents who were not consulted on the matter. The shift during the administration of President Diosdado Macapagal, called the Roses Plan after the Education Secretary Alejandro Roses, was supposed to be implemented over a 3-year period, with classes opening in July 1963, August in 1964, and September in 1965. According to the Roses Plan, the benefits of the shift include having a healthy student population, as children would no longer have to go to school during the beginning of the rainy season, and an economically productive country, as children would be able to help during the planting season from June to August. Senator Maria Calao Katigbak filed a measure in 1964 that effectively repealed the Roses Plan. It stated that the school opening should be any time between June 1 to July 31. Support for the Katigbak law came from the parents, claiming that they were not consulted regarding the shift. They did not want to send their children to school during hot months, and it turned out that during that time, in the summer of the 1960s, even government employees were given half days because of the heat.
I took summer class and it was like the worst. But yeah, because it was really hot and like, you know, you're like having a heat stroke while learning. So yeah, I never thought about that. But okay, that's a good con. Yeah, that's a really big con. Especially if it's gonna be a finals time eh. So yeah.
Why would you go to the beach when it's rainy? And why would you want to go to school when it's super hot? Frankly, I'd want a comfortable learning experience, and that wouldn't be the case. So, yeah, I'd prefer to keep things as they are.
Summer freshman year, I had two summer classes here, and then I couldn't work that well. One was aircon, one was not aircon. So what happened to me was my nose bled every time we had that class, that afternoon class. So I couldn't really concentrate. Plus, my family usually goes to summer vacation, so I would have to compromise that. And I don't think all the other universities are following it also.
Discussions that ensued, we also talked about what about the breaks of family, what about family vacations, etc. But I think the plan so far takes into account, for instance, certain feasts like Holy Week or All Saints Day, All Souls Day. The work schedule of parents don't necessarily follow the academic calendar. So, I mean, if people have to take leave from work to have family day, they will have to do that. I guess it will take some creativity on the part of families to plan out their schedule. Since the college students are in college anyway, and they should be more responsible if they miss a couple of days because their family goes on vacation, then they just catch up. I mean, it's there are many ways to solve these potential problems, and I think the benefits of aligning our schedules with other academic calendars outweigh the problems that we might have to face.
I've actually been following the ASEAN globalization issue for a while now, and when I found out that Ateneo was going into the shift, I was super excited because like finally we're gonna be part of the ASEAN country union. Well, honestly, I think it's okay. I mean, sacrificing your summer vacation for the sake of globalization isn't such a big sacrifice, naman. I mean, and if we're the only one, or if we're the only university in the Philippines that's not gonna follow it, then tayo rin malulugi. I mean, honestly, the first thing I thought of was when they were gonna shift somewhere. I was like, okay, when will we go to La Boracay? But then, that can be easily, sacrificed.
I distinctly remember in like grade school, high school, even now in college, like there's a real big problem in terms of like the typhoon season, the rainy season. Like you don't know if you can go to school or not, and then there's all these problems, especially if you commute, if you don't have your own car. It's really such a big problem. Then you'll notice that in summer, like you just go around and do whatever. I don't think it's a problem if they change the calendar.
So that everyone else has the same season, same calendar like everywhere around the world. So it will help us, like especially if you're a transfer student, it really messes up your calendar. Like it's not like I'm gonna transfer, but for everyone else.
Well, from my own experience, it's difficult to get fellowships abroad because the schedules don't sync. So I think in terms of faculty exchange, if a full-time faculty member wishes to take a leave, it's simpler if the academic calendars are in sync because of they will not have to make adjustments for substitute teachers because they can cleanly finish the semester and then if the next semester they'll go abroad. Another advantage is for students so that the intake for their JTD programs or for their exchange programs will coincide with their breaks. For the summer break, with the changing climate, it's becoming increasingly difficult to pinpoint when summer starts and the monsoon season starts. So even calling the June-July term a monsoon term isn't really accurate because we know that the monsoon season extends well into the next months. So I think in terms of aligning ourselves with other universities outside the country, it works to our advantage so that we can better facilitate student and faculty exchange.
A major driving force for the implementation of the shift in academic calendar is the exchange program. The exchange program allows the students to study in a university abroad for one whole semester and act as an informal ambassador of both the Ateneo and the Philippines. Experiences of previous JTA participants have described it as personally rewarding and academically enriching.
My JTA experience was a Cinderella story. Kasi hindi ako marunong magluto before ako mag-JTA. Pero dahil sa JTA, natuto na ako magluto kasi mas makakatipid ako. Then, sobrang gastos ko rin. So, narealize ko rin na yung value of money, na kailangan minsan magtipid din ako. Kasi hindi forever nasa akin lang yung pera. Then, third lesson na natutunan ko, matuto maglinis din. Kasi hindi ako marunong maglinis ng kwarto, ng as in, imamop ko siya talaga. So, every weekends, kailangan may priority ako na linisin din yung room or else pwede akong magkasakit or something. Then, sa ACADS naman, na-realize ko na yung education ng Ateneo, well, better compared to education sa France. Kasi sa kanila, hindi masyado silang ma-theory, more on practice. Whereas sa Ateneo, both theory and practice. Then, naisip ko na mas kailangan ko din i-value yung education ko kasi parang mas nakaka-practice ako, mas na-ready ako for the corporate world. Pero at the same time, kailangan ko rin nung experience sa JTA para mag-join together sila and mas ma-form ako into a better person and better citizen na makakatulong sa Philippines.
I went to JTA in Canada and it was really the time of my life. It really is a once-in-a-lifetime, life-changing experience.
Is internationalization enough of a reason?
Main reason for this change of calendar basically is for internationalization. While internationalization is good reason, I wish there would have been more reason to shift. Because basically what we're doing is it's a change of paradigm. What we used to be is we align ourselves with the rest of the world, which basically means that we are disaligning. I don't know if that's a word. We're with the rest of the Philippines. So it has several implications. It does it mean that we're moving on and leaving everyone else behind? Or do we have an obligation to align with the rest of the Philippines? And whatever happens, we go with them. Again, it's internationalization. There are pros and cons, and one of the pros, unfortunately, the only pro is internationalization, and I wish there would have been more reason.
Will Ateneo pioneer this great change towards the betterment of the education system in the Philippines, or will it compromise with the existing system for nothing?